I do want to play one other thing as well, because Damian Grant, a regular co-host on Bomber's podcast, he sort of revealed the secret, I feel, last night. And he said the quiet part out loud. And you know how they often talk about the Māori elite? It's a bullshit phrase, but I think we can talk about the right-wing elite. People like Damian Grant, who in this podcast that I'm going to show you a clip from, was celebrating the millions of dollars he made and the COVID money he took because he was entitled to it. Literally, he's entitled during the COVID lockdown, breakdown, crisis, mandates, all that sort of stuff. So he would be someone who we could call an elite on the right, wealthy, with money, with purpose, with privilege. He said the loud bit, the quiet bit out loud. I don't know if accidentally or not, where he reveals to the people who are on the panel that really what this whole thing is about. Like the whole thing to do with ACT, the whole thing to do with the right getting in and all of their desires is for cheaper labour. Now, if you're an owner of a dairy, cheaper labour isn't a lot because you're already dealing with perhaps minimum wage. But if you're someone like Damian Grant who wants to hire a lawyer, then you still want cheaper labour, but it's obviously going to be more expensive than minimum wage. Let's just have a bit of a listen to this interaction between Damian Grant and the panel, and then he will reveal the secret as to what this is all about. It's all about being able to pay less for people to work for you.
I think those people on Struggle Street are entitled to free education for their children. They are entitled to free health care. They're entitled to a pension when they hit 65. All of these things, and those are real benefits of real big dollar values. And in terms of the social welfare system that we have in this country, there are very few countries outside of the Nordic region that actually have a more comprehensive social welfare system. So, I mean, if you can't afford accommodation and the state doesn't have a state house, we'll put you in a hotel room. We have a massive social welfare infrastructure. And Chris Luxon's not going to change any of that.
Well, they're going to bring prescription charges, and they're going to stop benefits going up by the CPI, so it drops behind.
They're going to be also pushing the disabled into work. They drag alerts.
But this is at the margin stuff, right?
Yeah, we care about the people on the margins.
No.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
Preach,
but
Bomber.
the health system is not going to be defunded. The education system is not going to be
David Seymour
defunded.
wants to get rid of 15,000 workers. Now, and they want to abolish the Māori Health Authority. It's barely underway, and it's set up to assist with targeting specifically Māori, who are the most overrepresented in all the worst ways in terms of the health. They want to get rid of that. So, all those workers will be gone. Where do they go before Christmas? What happens to a policy that's probably conservative, a strategy that's conservative, that might move into something a little bit more transformational?
So I mean, this David Seymour's pushback on that would be, we have an additional...
Did you realise that Damian Grant was the voice piece of David Seymour? Maybe you did. Maybe we all did.
I think it's about 15,000 public servants between 2007 and now. What are we getting for that as taxpayers? What are we getting? So you're right. I mean, I don't think David Seymour will be able to achieve it, because I think Chris Luxon won't want to fire a single person. But what are we? And you're saying get rid of 14,000, 15,000 people. Those people aren't going to disappear.
They're either going to go on a benefit or what? What happens to them? There's lots of redundancies. I don't know.
I'll tell you what happened. I've got an office in Wellington, and we would like to employ a lawyer. I cannot compete with the wages that the state is paying for lawyers in
with all
Wellington.
the money which you've been making
with
through
all of the
COVID.
money that I've been making. What the state is doing is that they are sucking up all of these productive individuals, putting them into the state system, and as consumers of the state and as people on Struggle Street.
So hang on. We believe in market forces. We believe in people going places where they can get paid what they earn. And then all the people who adhere to that sort of neoliberal idea are like, well, we can't afford them anymore. We can't afford them anymore. So we have to make sure that those opportunities get taken away from them so I can pay less for them, even if he is talking about a fucking lawyer.
You're not getting any benefit from that. The healthcare isn't getting better. The education system isn't getting better. We're not deriving any benefit from that, but we are paying for all of those additional people.
So this is about getting cheaper staff members.
And so if we say to that person, you're currently working for this government department, and the people you're working for are deriving no benefit, we're going to take you out of there. That person's going to have skills and they're going to have ability and they're going to
It's very hard for me to be sympathetic about any of this, but
those people are going to go to a private sector firm. That the only way that private sector firm is in order for them to pay the wages, they're going to need to deliver a good or a service that somebody wants to buy.
It's as venal as like you all thought it was.
100%. So there you go. Damian Grant has just confirmed it all for you. Everything that was about. ACT getting rid of 15,000 people. It's all about just paying people less. Freezing of the minimum wage for 3 years. Setting the minimum wage to inflation when they're promising to get inflation down to 1 or 2%. It's all about just paying people less. Whether you're a dairy worker or a fucking lawyer, they just want to pay you less no matter what. Damian Grant can't afford lawyers. My understanding is he's had quite a few lawyers in his time, but he now can't afford lawyers. So he wants the government to step in and make lawyers be able to be paid less by getting them fired out of the system that they are in at the moment. When you say the quiet part out loud, that's what it's about. That's what it's about.